In today's episode, we'll be talking about another political agreement that has impacted the entire country. This agreement is similar to the tribal Kwanza Alliance power sharing agreement dated 5th April 2022, but this time it is between Kwanza Alliance Coalition and Pamoja African Alliance (PAA). The agreement is dated 8th May 2022 and is meant to affect where the money goes, who gets the jobs, and how the coastal region is to be treated. Buckle up, as this is going to be good because the stakes are high. In this agreement, the parties involved are the Kwanza Alliance, which is led by Dr. William Ruto, leader of UDA and now the President of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Musalia Mudavadi, leader of ANC and now Prime Cabinet Secretary of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Wetang'ula, leader of Ford Kenya and now Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Kenya. On the other side, we have PAA with its leaders, led by Mr. Kingi, PAA party leader and now Speaker of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Ibrahim Chairman of PAA, and Mr. Benedict Fura, Secretary General of PAA. Under this deal, PAA offered to support Dr. William Ruto's presidential candidature on certain conditions. The agreement was witnessed by Advocate Kithure Kindiki, Veronica Maina, UDA Secretary General, Simon Gikuro, ANC Secretary General, and for Kenya Secretary General, Mr. Chrysanthus Somalo. Now, what's the deal? There was an offer made and an acceptance reached thereafter. Kwanza Coalition approached the PAA and asked PAA to help them win the 2022 general election. In return, Kwanza promised PAA that if they win, they will make sure the people living in the coast get good things. After the promises, PAA led by Mr. Kingi accepted the deal. PAA was promised that several big things would happen for the coastal region if Kwanza won the elections, including reversing decisions that moved key activities of Mombasa Port Authority from Mombasa to Nairobi within 1 year from 9th August 2022 with the aim of bringing port activities back and work lost to Mombasa. Putting in place necessary reforms to ensure that Lamu Port will provide jobs and benefit the local communities. A revival of industries involving the cashew nuts, coconuts and others. More help and rights to be allocated to fishermen. Big changes in land ownership issues and settling of historical land injustices in the coast, among other promises, which are to date yet to be delivered. Now, these promises matter to King and the people of the coast. Why? For years, the coast had been left out when it came to jobs, resources, and government projects. The deal was supposed to change that and make sure that people in these regions don't feel left behind anymore. Another key part of the agreement was the power sharing. Kwanza promised PAA that they would have a big say in the government decision, including PAA was promised the position of Speaker of the Senate. PAA was also promised a slot on the Principal Secretary position and other slots in nominating people for jobs like Principal Secretaries, Ambassadors, and Commissioners. PAA's regions also promised money for projects like roads, schools, and industries. Now, here's the big issue. While this agreement looks like one meant to benefit the people from a certain area, it is actually an agreement that shows how selfish politicians can be. These deals made on paper never materialize. The coastal regions were promised all this if they supported Kwanza, but what about the other regions that didn't? Will they be left out? The power sharing deals in Kenya are the root and cause of all state capture activities, which later came about. For instance, look at the impeachment of Kenya's Deputy President, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, and the way both speakers of the National Assembly, Mr. Wetang'ula, and the Senate, Mr. Kingi, have conducted themselves. Although the impeachment process might have been fair, the speakers are neither independent nor impartial because they have an allegiance to the president and the power sharing deals, which they must protect. The impeachment process on its face appears to be a funded activity which is controlled by the government. Now that you know how these political deals work, it is easy to understand how the members of parliament and senators pass bills and laws which are not meant to be in the best interest of the public, but those which are meant to benefit the political class only, like the recent Constitutional Amendment Bill of 2024, which aims to extend the presidential term from 5 years to 7 years, create an office of the Prime Minister, extend the term of MPs, MCAs, and governor from 5 years to 7 years, among others. Kenyans, this is your time to hold your leaders accountable. Please like, share, and subscribe for more insights into how Kenya's political landscape affects your rights as citizens. Let's stay informed and fight for what is right. These political agreements show us the behind-the-scenes deals made and how they decide how our country is run. These agreements are a true story about power, money, promises, tribalism, and political greed.